Welcome to Crave the Rave, a naughty podcast for old school ravers who need a fix of the rave. I'm Lady Bizarre.
And I'm Jess the Mess.
On each episode, we'll be reminiscing over hilarious, embarrassing, and downright mental stories from our raver days. Think trippy tales, fezzy fails, and stories from the sesh.
We've seen, heard, and done it all.
And we bet you have too. So join us for a trip down memory lane.
Welcome everyone to Crave the Rave. Hello Lara.
Hello Jess, how's it going?
All good, how are you in your cupboard today?
Sweaty. It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
How many people have seen the inside of your cupboard?
What's wrong with you? That sounds so weird. I don't wish to disclose that information.
Oh, well, hello mate, it's always nice to chat to you. What's been going on in your world?
In my world? Well, I'm training to be a dance teacher right now, so I'm in a really intense teacher training, which is pretty cool for Brazilian Zouk.
Nice.
And then I'm trying to think, I have been out. I feel like I actually have been out since we last recorded. Went to drum and bass. I shared a video, a couple of things on our Insta of Dub FX and his wife. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's about it. What about you? What's new?
I've been trying to lose weight.
Oh, yeah?
Which means I've been running every day, pretty much every day. I'm constantly hungry. Do you know what I miss? The days of raving where you'd like literally dance on the spot or like be out and about for like 12 hours. And then like, if you think about all the energy that took to get to the club, stomp around, dance, chat non-stop, and then coming back from the club as well. Like, you must burn so many calories. I think it was before the days when we had phones that would tell us how many steps we did, but we must have done so many steps each time. And we were doing that every weekend, so no wonder we could all like eat what we want and stay really skinny. I'm missing that a bit, to be honest with you. So now I have to like force myself out into the British weather and try and get my steps up in other ways, which isn't as fun, but I do play like drum and bass classic anthems as I'm running, just to get me going.
Classic anthems.
Yeah, literally on Spotify, that is what they're called now. Like the drum and bass. Drum and bass is like evolved into this weird era where it's like,
I know,
like this sort of like almost like. To be honest with you, I don't like the way that it's evolved.
Yeah,
it's evolved into a bit more of a vocally sort of style, a little bit liquidy drum and bass, but with a woman's vocal over it. That's sort of where it's going.
No, it's turned into pop music.
Oh, yes, it has turned into
That's
pop
what's
music.
happened.
But I like the old school stuff.
Yeah.
The Shy FX, Goldie, obviously Andy C, we talk about him a lot. You know, all those guys from back, High Contrast. So when you now go on Spotify and you play that, it makes out as though it's the olden days. It makes out as though it's old people music, mate. It's literally like the anthems, the best of.
Yeah.
Like, it fucking makes me feel old.
Like, well, Chase and Status basically climbing the charts with drum and bass, and then Stormzy doing Backbone. Like, that was the beginning of, I don't want to say the end, because I think it's amazing that more people are getting to enjoy drum and bass, but I feel like this era, like, we had and we weren't even the original. We're not exactly the OGs. We caught, like, the wave, but we were, like, there was a whole wave before us. But, like, we caught, like, the 2000s, 2010s. Like, that era of drum and bass was so sick. You know, going to the end, going to Fabric Live every Friday. Like, I know that still exists, but I feel like we were in, like, a really fucking good era for drum and bass, both production and for events. And I think now it's just got hella commercial. Like, again, like, no shade to it, because I love that it's reaching more people, but I'm really happy that we were, like, in it when we were in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, it's weird. If you type into Spotify drum and bass, like, the first lot of tunes that come up, I'm like, what? This isn't what I know as drum and bass.
Yeah.
So basically that's what I've been doing. I've been really working out, and I feel good for it. Actually, I feel really healthy for it.
All right.
So that's nice.
That's nice.
But I thought I'd share with you a story of this week, which I think that you might like.
Okay.
I don't know why I think you might like it, but I reckon you will. But basically...
What kind of story?
Well, a news story.
Okay.
You don't really get the news stories, do you, that we get out here? Do you get the BBC out there?
What do you mean, get it? In what way? Where? How?
Well, can you put BBC on the telly?
Obviously not. I don't have a telly. I have a projector and I just watch like Netflix and stuff, but I don't have like cable, like satellite channels, no.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this isn't a story just for the BBC, but I just like this story, even though it's not funny. It shouldn't be funny. Shop worker, I'll say her first name, hang on. Shop worker Rhiannon, beep, I won't say her surname.
Why? It's a news story.
You can just Google this.
It's a news story. Why are you trying to save her?
All right, well, I'm not going to say her name. Anyway, shop worker, 25 years old, of Wales, basically, because I can't read out that town.
Okay.
Pleaded guilty to pursuing a course of conduct amounting to the harassment. Basically, I'll read this out better. There's a woman that's been prosecuted and put in jail for sending her ex's new partner videos of herself farting.
What?
And the videos have been deemed inappropriate as she proceeds to pass gas by placing the camera on her bottom and passing the gas. And she's done it so much that it's been deemed as harassment. And it's the UK's first case of cyber farting where someone's been prosecuted and she got a 12-month jail sentence.
What?
Jail. I don't know why I'm saying jail. Prison sentence. And I just thought, imagine being in prison and people saying, what are you here for? And it's because you're the first case of cyber farting.
Oh my God. No, but she must be completely, like, this can't have been her first offence. And like, she must be a serial cyber farter for this to have got that far, no?
I hadn't thought about that. I mean, what would you do if you were seeing somebody and their ex was sending you fart videos all the time? Fart. What? I don't even know how she would have done it. Fart videos? Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if I'd go to the police. I think that would probably be my last resort, which is why I'm thinking, like, how serious did it get? But some people do run straight to the police because like that they don't know what else to do. For me, I'd like to take matters into my own hand, make a call, get someone else involved.
I'd go around there with a lighter.
Ooh. Be like, come on then, bring it on. I'll set fire to your house with this fart. Or you could fart back. You could send one back.
Have you ever set alight a fart?
No, have you?
Oh, me neither. I've always really, really wanted to.
We can try it when I get back. I don't know if it actually works, though.
I'll provide the fart, because I feel like I'm better at that than you.
I'm going to Google it. Right, can you actually, or maybe I should ask ChatGPT. Let's see what it says. So, I just want to know is it actually a real thing? Like,
no, it's a real thing. You can honestly, you can set, in my mind, it comes out like a blowtorch. I don't know if that is what it looks like.
A blowtorch.
Actually like
okay, one sec, let's ask ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, can you actually set light to a fart and how would one do that?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. It's not me. I don't want the algorithm of ChatGPT to think that I'm that person. Okay, we have an answer, ladies and gentlemen.
Go on.
Yes, you can set a fart on fire because human flatulence contains flammable gases like methane and hydrogen. Ugh, it's making me sick. When ignited, these gases can produce a short-lived blue or orange flame. How it works. Okay, so the amount of those things are varying depending on the diet, and a fart is mostly nitrogen and carbon dioxide, which are non-flammable. But if enough methane and hydrogen are present, it can ignite.
There we go.
How one might do it, hypothetically, it says in brackets, how one might do it, hypothetically, choose the right conditions. A higher protein diet can increase methane content. What's your protein content?
Well, I gave up dairy because I was farting too much. And when I gave up dairy, I actually ceased farting.
Okay.
So, well, not totally, but I'd say my farts went down from maybe like, I probably on average was farting maybe like, I'd say close to 100 a day when I was eating dairy. And now that I've given up dairy, just the average 7, 8 farts maybe.
Okay, let's say that's pretty average. And then basically the instructions are position a flame close to your rear end, but not too close. And then the fourth step is let it rip. A sufficiently gassy fart should produce a quick flash of flame.
Wow.
And there we go, ladies and gents. So,
I think it's on my bucket list of things to do.
all right, should we record it for the pod? Audio or video?
We'll have to do both. There's probably some other people out there that really... I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that have actually done it before. I'd like to see it for myself, basically. And there's probably a lot of people that, like me, are intrigued.
Well, if you're bending over, you won't be able to see it for yourself, so I'm going to have to video it.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's one for the TikTok.
Oh, my God. Okay.
What a strange start to the pod.
No, but that story is mental though. Like, yeah, I can't believe that. Is that real though? Is that actually legit?
No, that's real. That's actually like on the BBC News. That's why I was asking if you could get the news.
I don't trust everything the news say, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, me neither. But they're not going to lie about that.
That would be quite excessive. Yeah, it's not April Fool's yet, is it?
No,
either,
like,
so. Is it?
What clickbait are going to get that? Only some weird perv like me that wants to have a look at that. Like what? Like.
Oh my God,
that's funny. But you're not a big farter, are you?
Not really. I mean,
or a big burper.
No.
I hate burps. I absolutely hate burps.
What do you mean I'm not a big burper? You know I can't burp.
I did know that actually. You can't burp at all?
I can't burp at all. It's not within my human capacity.
How many burps have you done in a lifetime?
The only burps... Well, my mum said that she seems to remember that when I was a baby I did burp, so at some point it stopped, but we don't know when.
But that doesn't count because a baby burp is weird. Like that's... You like have to be forced to burp. But you've never burped in your whole life.
The only time that I quote unquote burp is when I am like about to be sick or I'm like being sick or whatever. Then yeah, I remember an ex of mine when I was young, shout out Smokey Joe, my 14-year-old boyfriend. He was determined to try and make me burp, and so we downed, like, you know, went to Dallas Chicken. If you're from London, you know Dallas Chicken. I'm not sure if it goes beyond London. Dallas Chicken, like, you get your chicken and chips, 2 chicken, portion of chips and a drink for £2, right? Do you remember that?
No.
Those days?
I never ate from chicken shop.
What?
I've never eaten from a chicken shop. Never.
What do you mean?
I've never eaten from a chicken shop other than Nando's, and it's surprising how much I love Nando's, but I've never eaten from a chicken shop.
Why?
I often ask myself that question.
It's not that deep, but okay.
I honestly don't know. I've never been... Yeah, what a profound thing to say. I just haven't really been in an environment where we've been... I'm not the biggest meat eater. So if everyone was going to chicken shop, I wouldn't go. I don't know why everyone would be going to the chicken shop with me. I haven't really been in an environment where people go to the chicken shop.
But what do you mean? Like, you used to be hanging with the stoners and getting stoned, right? Was that not chicken shop vibes?
I'd get something else. I'd get a pizza. I'd get a pizza. I'd get a kebab. I love a kebab.
Okay.
I wouldn't get the chicken. It didn't really do it for me. I'd get something else.
Okay, so you can't be saying like I'm not much of a meat eater, but I love a kebab.
No, I'll get falafel kebab. Falafel kebab. Thank you very much. Yeah.
What, even as a fucking like 14, 15-year-old?
Yes, bruv. Like I literally would have a falafel kebab.
It weren't doner.
Or I'd just get salad and never a doner.
Doner kebab.
No, I'm not getting a doner. I'll get chips and salad in a pitta.
My God. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But yeah. Anyway, so we swallowed this chicken and chips while downing a can of Coke at the same time.
Ooh, that's revolting.
Well, yeah, but it was all in the name of the experiment.
For science.
For science purposes. No burp. Just kind of a bit full and bloated, yeah.
Where did it come out, though? In the arsehole? It must have come out somewhere.
No. My body is, like, rigged differently, I think. Like, people always ask that. They're like, oh, you must fart triple as much or whatever because you don't burp. But no, like, my body's just, like, the body's very smart. It's just kind of recalibrated itself to not need to. The only time it's annoying, like, I never feel bloated. I never feel, well, not consciously, maybe I'm just used to it, but like, it's not like after a meal I'm like, oh my God, I have all this gas and I'm about to explode. I can't breathe. It's not really like that. And everyone else is burping and I'm kind of jealous, to be honest, because it seems like fun and really everyone's like, does a big burp and they're like, ah.
I can't stand burps. Honestly, that's
people
my
love
number
them,
one
though.
thing. No, the people don't love burps. Burps
People
are
love doing them and they
revolting.
feel good.
Oh yeah, I
Don't they?
think doing a burp is nice. A sneeze is even better, but it's not nice being next to someone when they burp. I've got a phobia of
No,
burps.
it's disgusting. I know you do.
And I know where the phobia came from. When I was at school, there was a girl and I sat opposite her and she ate a tuna sandwich and then she squeezed down a Ribena really quickly down her gob. And then she went, "Bleh," and it was a big tuna burp in my face. And honestly, it actually gave me a phobia of burps.
That's grim. Ugh, I don't like that.
That's probably why we're good friends. You don't burp, I've got a phobia of burps. I can be friends with you, you've been vetted, we're all good.
What a killer combo. No, but the thing is, for me, like, as you know, do you remember the days when we would go, like, peak raving days? Do you remember how I'd always feel sick? Like, always feel sick until, like, 6 in the morning. I'd be needing a wee constantly, and I'd always feel queasy. I went through this period of, like, I mean, it wasn't just random. I'd be getting on it. I'd be taking something, then feeling queasy. And then there was always the same pattern. About 6, 7 in the morning, like literally everyone be smoking, everyone be having a great time. I'd be like, oh, get that cigarette away from me. There's no way I could smoke. Like, I think a cigarette would just finish me off right now. And then about 6, 7 in the morning, the sickness waves. And I'm like, give us a ciggy. And then I could enjoy the rest of my night, party for 2 days, and I'd be totally fine. Nothing would make me sick. But it would be this initial, I don't know, like integration period where I would just feel like death. And you would always be the one that would come to the toilet with me and help me try and be sick just to let it pass. Do you remember?
What a nice friend I am.
You're amazing.
I was there to hold your hair back and say disgusting things to try and get you to throw up. Well, next time you're in London, why don't we? I'll burp you and then we can light a fart.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that at all. But yeah, so yeah, there's me and burping. I don't burp. But did you know, and actually, did you send this to me? I think it might have been you that sent it to me, that there's a cure for not being able to burp. Did you send that to me? It was in the metro.
I feel like that's the sort of thing I would send to you.
Yeah, so someone sent me like a picture of what they'd seen in the metro, because like amongst our friends, everyone like knows that I'm the girl that can't burp. So I got sent this snippet from Metro, which was basically a story about how they've created an injection that you can have, which makes you start burping.
Right.
And you can't reverse it. So once you've done that, something changes in your physiology and then you become someone that burps. Apparently, this is something that they've developed. But yeah, you can't reverse it. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that. What if I do it? I start burping and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a burpy girl. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knew?
Well, I can tell you a story which will make you laugh. So we, years ago at Secret Garden Party, it was like day 2. I'd been awake for like two days. I hadn't been to bed yet. I hadn't been to bed yet. And me and Val went off and we went into this like bedwetty, tenty vibe sort of thing. And there was a little stage on it, but no one was playing. And we'd made like friends that day that were sort of with us, but they weren't like our homies. They were like people that we met that day that we couldn't shake off. And anyway, there's quite a lot. It was a hot day, so there was a lot of people like chilling and in this tent, just like vibing on the floor. And we were on the stage, sitting on the stage, and I stood up and thought, I know what will make all these people laugh. I'll Mooney. And so I got up I stood up in front of everyone. And in my head, I was going to do a quick woo, pull my pants down, show my bum, turn round, and everyone's faces will be laughing their head off. Ha ha, this girl's so funny. But in reality, I stood up, I pulled my pants down way too low so they could see minge flaps and everything. And when I turned round, the whole place was like shocked. Like their faces were like shocked, like couldn't believe what they've just seen, because this girl's just got up on the stage, pulled her pants down and showed everyone her nook and cranny. And it was not the reaction I expected at all. I thought it was going to be so the opposite of that. And like I was like, oh my God, what have I just done? What have I just done? Quick, we need to run out of here.
God, let's move on from this topic.
Let's move on. How do we get here? We actually were approached this week by one of our lovely listeners to discuss, and I think it's a very good topic, smoking etiquette, smoking at raves, smoking areas. So what are your views on it, Lara? What do you remember from the smoking days?
I mean, obviously when we started raving, you could smoke inside, right? And that was the place to be. The fabric stairs. Oh my God. We would I feel like I spent more time sitting on the stairs smoking in fabric than I did on the dance floor at that time.
Totally.
We would commandeer a corner and that would be it. And you'd always come, what was quite nice, that was always the base, right? You'd just all be sat on the floor and that would be the corner, and always be someone there, because if you went to the dance floor, you'd always come back to that corner.
Yeah.
But the whole fucking place was a hot box of cigarettes, right?
Could you imagine it now? Like, I remember when the smoking ban came in and we were like partying a lot at that point, and we were like, we're not going to give up smoking. We're going to carry on smoking. And then like quite a few times our mates all got kicked out at separate nights where we'd carry on smoking on the dance floor and get kicked out, and it was like, hang on, we really can't smoke. I mean, I've always not really been a big smoker. I'm not a smoker, and I haven't been, but I would have an occasional cheeky fag. But like, I remember being like, how dare they tell us to stop smoking? We're gonna have a fag on the dance floor. But now it's like, could you imagine walking into a nightclub where everybody has got a cigarette on? Even people like me that don't smoke have got a cigarette alight. How did they actually get away with that?
Well, that was just it. I mean, people used to smoke on airplanes.
Yeah, I guess. Then the smoking areas became a thing. And I love a smoking area. I met Ashley in a smoking area, and there's a thing called I can't even say it. Flirting and smoking. Smoking.
Oh, smirking.
I can't say it.
Flirting. I don't know. Smirking.
Smirting. Anyway,
bloking.
Where you go out, where you floking, where you go out and have a flirt whilst you're having a fag, and I do think that's where you meet the best people in the smoking areas.
All right, yeah. I mean, I would agree. Yeah, I've definitely had some great convos with random people in the smoking area. I mean, what this listener was saying was that he was feeling like people don't have the manners these days that they should, in his words, and like he said that you have people in the smoking area basically demanding a cigarette almost. He said that he'd had even people lying about their friends being in a state and desperately, in quotes, needing one when they were actually fine.
I feel like that's a Gen Z thing.
Well, this guy is a lot...
My friend needs it for their mental health.
Younger. Yeah, this guy is younger. He is he's definitely the next generation. His feeling was that, like, at least they could, like, indulge him in, you know, bothering to, like, connect with him for a moment, have a little, like, you know, quick conversation or whatever. But,
fair.
He feels like it's not on, really. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if you're going to ask for a fag or a ciggy, you should really ask for it politely and maybe just spend some time with that person having a cigarette. I can imagine that people do ponce a lot more because they're all on the vapes. And actually, when you're fucked, you need to upgrade it to the good old snout, you know? So I can imagine that people do want a cigarette more and they don't have them on them, so they'll go on the ponce for someone that does. And I can imagine as somebody that has the ciggies on them, that doesn't feel very good because everyone's on the bloody vapey vape.
Yeah, it's so true. You know, people aren't really carrying a deck of ciggies anymore. No. And also, the thing is, like, the price of cigarettes now, like, here in Mexico, I don't mind, like, I don't like buying them because if I buy them, like, I'm trying not to smoke. But, like, a 20 deck now here is about £3 or £4.
Oh, wow. You wouldn't mind giving one out then or two out, you know? Or even 5
Exactly.
out,
I'm like, cool. Like, I've got the box to give out.
Here they're £1 a pop, you know? It's about £20 a packet, I think. So if you're giving out a cigarette, it's £1 a go for a stranger that's rude to you. I mean, there's always a nice way to ask for things. in any way, you know. But I think I probably could have, if I went out more, I'd have more an opinion on this. But, you know, I can imagine that things are like that because of the vaping situation. But I've been in clubs before and thought, oh, I've asked a stranger for a go on their vape. And I've been in clubs before where I've asked a stranger to have a take on their fag or a fag.
I do it I actually do that. But I think, like, I'm polite. I definitely don't lie about it. And I'm always with a smile. And, like, if I'm smoking it there, I'll chat with the person.
Yeah.
So I think it's not that. I think it's just the way, the etiquette, like the way that you go about it. Or, like, I think what he's probably getting at is the expectancy of, like, people coming up being like, give us a fag. Or, like, just kind of, like, expecting, like, it's, like, you know, for me personally, if I ask, I'm always like, so sorry to ask. Is there any chance you might have a spare ciggy? But I genuinely am saying that because I'm kind of a little bit cringed about asking. Not cringe, but, like, I know that it's kind of annoying when someone asks you sometimes. But, yeah, if someone came up to me and was like, got a ciggy, I'd be like, no, probably not.
It's annoying for me because I'm a non-smoker, so I'm always left in the bloody restaurant holding the bags on the table while everyone else goes outside and has a cigarette. It's so fucking annoying. I mean, I'm used to it now. It's been always a thing. But, like, as a non-smoker, I would rather be a smoker to get up and go outside with everyone. And sometimes I do, but then sometimes someone's got to stay with the bags. Okay, it's going to be the non-smoker. I'm used to it now. But I certainly would have a break often at the clubs, even when I don't smoke, to go outside and have a moment because the smoking area is where it's all going on.
I hate it when they have a smoking area, and this is quite common, where you're not allowed to sit down.
Yeah.
And there's no seats.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's like they don't want people being there. And I remember Fabric kind of, when they opened up the smoking area, it was huge, but there was no seating. And then you try and sit down and they'd be like, get up. And so they really wanted to, like, change that culture of, like, hanging in the smoking area.
Yeah, I guess I get that, because their smoking area wasn't built. Their smoking area was not built to be a smoking area, for one. It was...
No, it was like a car park.
They had to find a space.
Park.
Yeah, they had to literally open where the bins were and make that into a space for people to smoke. So they haven't factored that in. It's a nightclub where people are there to rave, right? Everyone's going to want to go outside for a break. Everyone's going to want to go outside for a cigarette. If you've got that full of people sitting down, you're going to have queues then inside of people trying to get out. And I think, you know, ultimately, you can have a cigarette, you've got a smoking area, you can go outside, but you can't sit there and chat. You can go and sit on the stairs. They've got beds in there, for God's sake. Go downstairs and sit in the beds. So I get it from a club like Fabric. However, with a new club that's opening, they have to factor in a comfortable smoking area. And I think a lot of them do, to be fair. What I used to enjoy was, like, when we used to go to, like, I guess you get this at festivals as well, when you're in the big tents, or when you're in, like, when we used to go to, like, the illegal raves, because you could just smoke. You could smoke. That's when I'd, like, have a cigarette, because it was the novelty of smoking inside, because there was nobody to tell you off. You weren't meant to be there raving anyway. Or at a festival, when you're inside a tent, you can have a cigarette, even though it feels like you're in a nightclub. It was the novelty of having a fag while you're dancing. Even then, I'd have a cheeky one. Those are the sort of times when I'd go, go on, give us a ciggy.
The Dub FX night I went to last weekend, that was smoking. You could smoke inside, so it still happens here.
What a treat!
It was a treat, although I wasn't really smoking. I smoked a little bit of weed, but, like, I was really not. I had a couple drinks, I really wasn't. I was having more of a dancey night than a getting on it night. I think I had shit to do the next day, but I just wanted to go dance, and I honestly was repulsed by the smell of my hair. Like, it was grim. And the thing is, it's annoying because I got it cut and styled on Saturday. So it looked really nice, but it stunk. And I was like, I now can't wear... Normally, if I get my hair done at the hairdresser, I drag that shit out for as long as possible because it's nice and smooth, no frizz, blah, blah, blah. It looks good. I had to wash it again, straight away, because I was like, it fucking stinks. But yeah, I think in Berlin you can still smoke inside pubs. I think they refuse to say no to that. Someone was telling me that the other day. Berliners love to smoke, and so they couldn't bring that rule in, apparently. I don't know, but that's what someone said.
I do think overall it's a good rule. I think it is something,
agree.
You know, I think smoking is actually, overall, it's disgusting. Yeah, you might have a cheeky fag and it might be delicious, but overall smoking is rank. And
yeah, I never wake up in the morning and think, oh, I'm so glad I smoked last night.
Exactly. So I think overall it's the right thing to do. And you do get used to it when you're out raving as well, you know. You do get used to not having a cigarette, whereas when you were a smoker, when you could smoke inside, you'd have them all the time. So it's good for our lungs, and hopefully it means that we will live a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure. I know that you usually call them ciggies, right? I say ciggies as well, but I think I maybe caught that from you, because I always used to say fag.
Yeah.
Give us a fag.
Fag. I say ciggy, and I've always said ciggy.
It's cute.
Or fag. Yeah, because for me it's a little treat.
Cheeky fag.
Snout.
Yeah, but you don't say snout.
No, I don't say snout. Who am I kidding?
Unless you're maybe like hammered or something. You might say it ironically, like, give us a snout.
I wouldn't say snout. Give us a snout. It's not something I'd say.
I mean, you did literally say it about like 5 minutes ago on the pod.
That's me just showing off. That's not really the way that I speak.
What about straight?
Oh, straight. I wouldn't say it, but I know what it is.
Straight is a good language for if you're asking someone what they've got. Because sometimes people say they've got ciggies, but they've actually got rollies.
That's right. It's not backy.
And so you'd be like, oh, what have you got? Are they straights?
That's
so
right.
that's like how you differentiate, right?
Ooh, give us a straight. Actually, I might say that. Actually, give us a straight. Because I'd never smoke a roll up. I'd never smoke a roll up because I'm not a smoker. I do not need to smoke a roll up. Do you know what I mean? If I fancied a fag on the off chance that I did, and it was backy, there's no way I'd say, go on, give us one of them. I'd rather.
No, I've never CBA. I cannot be arsed with rolling a rollie every time.
Well, the thing is, I grew up with a Scottish alcoholic grandma who chain smoked like more than you could ever believe. She eventually died of lung cancer, bless her. But she, from a young age, she taught us, and I'm really young, 6, 7. She taught me, my brother and sister, how to roll ups.
Wow.
So when I became of an age where I was like dabbling in tobacco, I could always roll. I could always skin up. I could always roll a joint.
Oh my God.
And I'm like 13 and like 14 and I can skin up. I've always been able to skin up. And it's funny because years later, me and my sister and my brother were talking and we were like, have you always been able to skin up? And everyone's like, yeah, isn't it meant? We're like, oh, because our grandma taught us how to roll cigarettes at 9 years old, 8 years old. As a teenager, we were the one that everyone would come to say, oh, can you roll us a joint? And I'd just be like, yeah.
Can you skin
up a joint.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like you've actually kept that one quiet. Did you do that deliberately so I didn't ask you to bill it for me?
So I didn't have to roll all the joints.
I'm like, hang on a second, why did I not know this? Because you're the last person I would ever ask to roll the joint. But now you've been getting away with it.
Yeah, maybe I kept it quiet. No, you knew it. I'm sure you knew it at the time. I once was seeing this guy and I was dating it, and it was like on his woman's bucket list that they had to be able to roll a joint. And funny enough, I pretended that I couldn't. I just wasn't that into him. Also, he was like such a pro at rolling a joint. I didn't really want to show him my skills, which probably weren't quite as good as his. And because it was such a necessity for him to find a woman attractive, I on purpose he was like, oh, I can't roll a joint, but deep down inside I thought, I can fucking skin up, mate. All right?
Well, I've recently, since I did my egg freezing and then found out that that nicotine is bad for your ovaries and all of that stuff, and I gave up vaping. 29th of August, 2023, still have never picked up a vape since. So fucking
well done.
Chuffed with that.
Any smokers listening, Ashley just did the Alan Carr course. Yeah, our borough actually paid for it to be done for free online.
Wow.
And it's worked really well for him. He said he was up for a bit of brainwashing, and I tell you what, it's done the trick. He doesn't crave it anymore, and he's given up through that, and it's worked really well.
Can I have a login?
If anybody is listening and wants to give up, no, you have to do it live. They talk to you live.
Oh.
So if anybody does want to give up smoking, and that's a good way to do it if you haven't tried that already, because it worked for Ashley.
That's helped a lot of people, I know. Okay, great recommendation. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Well, yes, I gave that up, but then they kind of crept in like the odd drunken ciggy. Like I'll have one or two, and I'm not proud of it, but occasionally I do, and it's not that often. But I've been recently, if I roll joints, or if I want to smoke but I don't want to smoke a ciggy, I'll roll flowers. So it's a blend.
Sorry, what? Are you joking?
No, I'm not. Have you not seen my blend of herbs and flowers?
No, I haven't seen your blend of it. What?
It's very hippie. It's quite common now. Like people, like to the point where it's funny. It looks like it's kind of like a bag of like oregano, but then it also kind of looks like it could be like ground weed, but it's literally just flowers. It's got like blue lotus in it. It's got like different flowers that are like grinded, like maybe lavender, rosemary, but you can smoke that and it still kind of gives you the sensation of having had a cigarette. It's not quite as fulfilling, obviously, and satisfying because it doesn't hit the...
But it's still drawing that burn in your lungs.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give you that nicotine hit, but it does give you the sensation of smoking something, which is kind of often what we crave. But what I do like to do is mix that with the weed if I smoke a joint, and that's nice. That's really
cocktail.
Nice. Yeah, it's a little cocktail. Yeah, I like that a lot. Actually, have I ever told you? I'm sure I have. When I was... So maybe like a couple months after I first ever smoked weed, so I think I was about 13, 14, I decided, this is the entrepreneur in me, I decided I was going to become a shotter, but I didn't have any sources, so I literally went to the shop and I bought oregano, like dried herb oregano. This is so embarrassing. Like, I actually don't think I have actually ever maybe told you this. So... I bought baggies from a little shop in Putney, Jerusalem gift, that had the weed logo like all over it, like not the weed logo, like it's a brand, you know what I mean, the weed leaf print on these baggies, and I filled it with oregano, and I then printed out on my home computer a little piece of paper about what weed was and what it did to you. And I put it inside the bag with the oregano, and I made about 10 baggies like this. And I went to Wimbledon Park. And I sold...
middle-class park.
yeah, exactly. Literally by Wimbledon Tennis. And I sold one. Yes.
Who bought it from you?
Another, like, 13-year-old. And... not surprisingly, this is when we did have the very, very, very basic like 5110 phones or whatever. Not surprisingly, I got a text very shortly after saying that they had tried to smoke it and that it wasn't weed and that they wanted their money back.
I think this was me and my mates. We once bought a drawer and it was literally oregano. And we had a mutual friend who was your friend, Rachel. And were you with her when you sold it?
No, this was a solo entrepreneur journey, actually.
Okay.
I don't think I was friends with her yet.
I got done over by someone like you, mate. Maybe, as I think we all did when we were younger.
Maybe the guy that I sold it to sold it on to you.
Fucking hell.
I know. Oh my God.
So safe to say your shotting days didn't go too well? No.
I think... Yeah, and I had like one of those little like money boxes at home, like I was gonna be this big seller, but yeah, it didn't go very well. People don't want to smoke oregano.
It was probably for the best.
Yes, but the irony is, fast forward, whatever it is, 20, 25 years later, I'm actually smoking oregano. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. Cool. Well, that was a nice episode. We're just reminiscing about the smoking days. Makes you want to go and have a cigarette, really.
Do you need to do the Alan Carr course?
I'll go and do the Alan Carr course. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, all right, mate. Well, how we got from farting to smoking, I'm not really sure.
Do you know what, though, I will say? Whenever I see, still now, even if I'm sober, don't want a cigarette, if I see someone on TV, like if it's Dot Cotton in EastEnders, not that she's in it anymore, bless her, but, or someone in a film, like a gangster movie, and they're smoking.
Peaky Blinders,
yeah, they make smoking look so enjoyable. It makes me want to fucking go and smoke. Does it do that for you?
Yeah, it does, yeah. And I know it does it for Ashley as well. Well, Lara, I'll leave you to smoke your wacky backy.
My legal herbs.
Your legal herbs, you bad girl. Thank you everybody for listening to another episode of Crave the Rave. We've got some exciting guests coming up soon and we've got a lot more on the way. Please keep sending your messy moments. Please keep chatting to us on Instagram. We love it. And we're now on YouTube as well. We've always been on there, but suddenly we've got an intake there. So thanks to all you guys too. But And we really appreciate you listening to us today.
We haven't always been on there. We only joined there quite recently.
Okay, we've only been on there quite recently. Thank you, sound engineer.
I'm like,
And it's always nice chatting to you. So thank you, everybody at home, for listening. Keep passing to your mates. We love it when people reach out to us on Instagram, so please keep doing that as well.
yes, and if you have any other topics, like, you know, obviously we had a listener suggest we talk about this topic. If you've got any topics you want to hear us chatting about, then let us know. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Jess. See ya. Bye.
Bye, honey.